now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, Puckle Podcast.
It's Puckle! Puckle! It's Puckle! Puckle! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! Puckle! Puckle.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Puckle Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful co-host. We've got the Fluffiest Whimsicott.
Hello, hello.
And Sublimemanic.
I don't know how I'm not tired, but I'm not.
I believe you sound very awake today, and I am impressed.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Puckle Podcast. Puckle, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And I was off last week, and apparently there was no episode because of several technical issues. Not just like one technical issue, but like a series of technical issues. Yeah, it was like three in a row.
The perfect storm of technical issues.
Yeah. So don't worry, we're back this week. We'll be good. I'm sure the show will be up. If you're listening to this, the show is up.
You're welcome.
True enough.
Yeah, true enough. So what have I been doing in Pokemon lately? So I've been really bad. One new set drops. So I've been playing a lot of TCG, and I've been looking at TCG prices, but that's not what the people want to hear.
Some people do.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
NAIC is going on right now, and I'm kind of just waiting to see like what deck actually comes out on top. I haven't been following the meta as closely as I was like a year ago because, like I say several times on the show, I'm a dirty casual who only plays like league level events, and I don't play. I don't go to regionals anymore or anything like that.
What do you have to prove? What are you trying to accomplish? You know, like
No. You're absolutely correct, Sublime. I think it's a lot of fun to go if you're with friends to those events. But man, like the traveling to those events on top of all the traveling I do for work is insane.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I just came to the decision like, I'm just gonna travel for work, and then I'm gonna make my travel not for work a little bit more meaningful. I'll be honest, like if I wasn't married and had a wife that I love very much, I probably would consider going to regional still. But most of the time now.
Yeah, but your life would be probably more empty.
You're absolutely correct. But yeah, if I were single or something, like, I would definitely consider it. But the fact that I'm not single makes me go, I could go on a vacation with my wife, though, instead of going to a Pokemon regional. And I'd much rather do that. I don't know. Like, as I get older, I find that the more I travel, the less I want to do it. The less I want to do it. It was bad. I was in Germany last week, and I sat there and I'm like, man, I should be having the time of my life because like I'm abroad, you know, for work and everything. But I'm like, no, all I can think about is wanting to go home because I'm just so tired of traveling.
I mean, you shared your schedule with me, and I looked at it and I was like, how does he do it?
That's like a 3-week period too. The schedule that I shared with you is like a 3-week period.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's a very packed 3-week period, but yeah, it's a lot of flying back and forth. Granted, a lot of those trips I showed you were to like Columbus, Ohio, and Washington D.C., which I think are some of the easiest travels for me to do. Because Columbus is like, it's an hour down the road. It's not too bad.
Columbus is, it's fun. There's things to do, which is generous for Ohio.
Yeah. Columbus, Ohio, Ohio's fine. Everybody just likes to make fun of it because it's the Midwest place everybody knows.
It's the best U.S. state I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That will soon change. That will soon change.
Yeah.
That will soon change.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ohio. But either way, Washington, D.C. is also very easy. There's a direct flight, so, like, it's like nothing to get there. It's when you have to travel, like, I don't know, if I have to travel more than like 3 hours, that's when I'm like, this just sucks. I don't want to do it. But Columbus and DC, easy, less than 3 hours. But I digress. This is a Pokemon podcast. Other than the TCG, I got into Pokerogue recently. I really don't understand how it works, to be honest. But I've been playing it. I'm having fun with it.
It looks very complex.
I think there's definitely like depths to it that I don't understand, and that's really okay.
I love a roguelite, yeah.
I don't know what that means, Sublime. Do you know what that means?
Yes, I do, actually. I do.
Please explain.
Because I got super into Hades when that was...
Okay.
Hades 2 is coming out. A roguelike is basically a game that has random elements every time you play it.
Okay.
So that each time you play it, it's a different experience.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I understand.
And also, I think another element to it is that you retain some resources from your previous rounds.
Yeah, you can gain progress in spite of how random it is.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially, instead of trying something over and over and over with the same resources, the fact that you've played the game before, even if you died on that run, still gives you an advantage to your following run.
This makes sense to me now. Okay. Because honestly, people kept going, it's a roguelike, Thatch. And I'm like, that's not helpful to me as a description.
What does that mean? It's like,
Took me forever to understand that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that is not helpful. I'm an old man now.
You know what? I bet other people were wondering too. So there you go. The more you know.
Yeah, I'm an old man now. It doesn't make any sense. It's fine.
Oh my god. I heard that, what was it? There was a My Chemical Romance album that turned 20, and I felt like I aged 20 years instantaneously when I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I
love when you guys say this kind of thing in front of me. Like, it's so...
Yeah.
I have friends that are Gen Z and Gen A, and I'm like, I'm getting old.
The way I see it, Whimsicott, is the difference in our ages, like mine and yours, is decreasing in the amount of time.
As you get older,
like, the value's decreasing,
yes.
Right? Like, it's not going to matter, like, when I'm 80, right? Like, that you're, like, 88.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter.
Absolutely. But at this point, I still feel it a little more when you guys say, oh, this album turned 20 years old. Whereas I'm like, oh, this show that I watched in my teens is 30 years old.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know.
I had a friend say 2014 was 10 years ago, and I said, shut up.
That's like
say that.
that's the year Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out.
That's not okay. That's not okay.
I don't like that.
No, it's not.
You know what? I'm just going to blame the pandemic, because that was like a time fog.
Yeah. Did you guys do anything fun recently at all?
Recently? Pokemon related specifically?
I mean, maybe.
I had a friend ask me about Pokemon Unite yesterday, and I'm like, how's Unite? And I'm like, you did not just ask me that. Oh, no.
I mean, it's fine.
Pulled back in. It is.
It's fine. No, Pokemon Unite. I'm terrified of playing it because I'll get sucked into it for like a solid like
exactly. And then I know it'll be bad for my mental health. I'll be angry. I'll be an angrier person.
Well, like what's worse is I'm not sure how. It's very obvious by a lot of comments and survey responses we get that people don't understand that, like, when, like, I'm on the show or I'm on Twitch or something like that, like, I play, like, an exaggerated version of myself. Like, it's an amped up version of my personality.
You're a character. Right? You're on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, like, it gets really bad when I do it on stream because, like, I play the part of the toxic gamer, if that makes sense. Like, that's what happens. And, like, I like, yell at people and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're feeding the people.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's not good for me.
Oh, I just realized I did do something very exciting recently that I do want to share with you all.
Oh, please.
I started doing stand-up.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You said you were going to the last time.
And then I did it.
Wow.
It was good.
How'd it go?
Yeah. It went really well.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
That's good. Anything from you, Whimsicott? Anything you do recently?
Well, Pokemon related, I did start a new playthrough of Violet, and it was like, okay, I'm going to Nuzlocke this game. I want to do a Nuzlocke. And I found a website online that, like, picks a random encounter for you out of all the ones that are available in a certain area, so that you have the randomness element, even though you can see all of the potential encounters. So I don't have to, like, walk blindfolded into South Province Area 1 or whatever. And then the role I got for South Province Area 1 was Gimmighoul, which is actually not accessible at the beginning of the game. You need the climbing ability on your ride Pokemon, which I didn't realize for a while. And I was, like, running around trying to say, okay, the website gave me this. There has to be, like, a chest that I haven't seen. And by the time I was done looking for it and I realized that I couldn't get it, I was like, you know what? This is not going to be a Nuzlocke. I'm already tired of it. I'm just going to play normally.
Yeah, that happens a lot to me too. I just go, yeah, I'm just going to play normally after playing a Nuzlocke.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I would like the added element, but then I realize, well, do I really have the time and energy to dedicate to a Nuzlocke? And the answer is no. So I just play normally.
Yep.
Also, I caught a few Finizens with the kindly mark because that's
cute.
Too appropriate and too cute. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally get that. Well, I think I am gonna make us move over to the news then. So let's cue that epic newsic.
Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to our news. There's some things to talk about in the news, and I'll let Whimsicott go ahead and do it.
Yeah, this part I actually like. So they finally announced the Kalos Sitting Cuties. They're coming to Japan later this month. They do include all the Vivian forms, all the Farfret trims, both the forms of Aegislash and all the forms of Zygarde, but the pictures only show the red Flababy line and active form Xerneas, which I'm like, you did all of the Vivians and you didn't bother doing the different colors for Flababy, which are arguably easier, right? So
yeah,
they don't have
I feel like
pattern,
Pokemon,
it's just a different color.
Pokemon just really likes the Vivian thing way more than I think they need to. Like,
I love the Vivian thing.
You know what? At least they're not like into the Spinda thing.
Oh gosh, that would be
they could do worse.
They're very much not into it. Did you know that? Like, okay, this is like a minor complaint about modern Pokemon, because like what we all ideally want to cope with our Dexit, right, is we want every Pokemon to have a home on a Switch game. We agree, right? Spinda's coding is so messed up in BDSP. BDSP screwed the pooch on this one. Because so far that's the only game that Spinda can be in, by the way, on Switch, is in BDSP. They screwed the pooch that when it gets transferred to home, something messes up with the coding, so you can't actually transfer Spinda back into BDSP.
Because it doesn't keep track.
It doesn't keep track of what it looks like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like a super minor gripe that I don't know that they're actually going to fix. Now it is Spinda, so I don't know how much I care personally.
Spinda,
but,
it goes to jail, yeah.
I don't know how much I care.
It was too drunk in public, and now it's in jail.
That sounds like Spinda.
Yeah. I named my last Spinda Lindsay.
Like, I do expect, like, Gen 10 to fix this probably, but I don't know. I don't expect, like, PLZA to fix it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to care that much.
Although I would love a Spinda walking drunk around.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be so cute.
Or just walking.
You're right.
In their
just
I could see that.
dizzy all the time.
With wine.
Baby.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Cute.
Oh, because it's French.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
In further news, there were a couple of new trademarks coming from Japan. Trustle Festival is likely a TCG set, and then there is Glory of Team Rocket,
which is also a TCG set. I've seen the logo leak.
But
yeah, yeah, the little cross out is funny.
Someone Sigma who makes the news document says it's clearly a remake of the second TCG Game Boy game, so the West can experience it. We wish.
If only.
Yeah. Going back to Unite, Cerulege is coming to Unite this week.
That's actually kind of cool.
It is.
That's actually cool.
Go Unite crowd. And also, still in merchandise news, Squishmallows for Fuecoco and Bellybolt are coming soon. Those are very squishable Pokemon.
That is cool.
Yeah, Bellybolt is like, I showed them to my wife.
Squishmallows.
I showed them to my wife because we're not Squishmallow people. But I did show her the Bellybolt one, and she got very excited about that one. She's like, that's the perfect Pokemon to be a Squishmallow. And I cannot agree more.
Yeah. Maybe Ditto.
Maybe not Ditto, but like Chansey? Maybe Chansey? I could see Chansey.
Yeah, Chansey. Or Happiny. Give something
Ooh,
to
Happiny.
the little ones.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. But yeah.
Munchlax.
All right. So Pokemon Go news. You've got this one, Sublime.
Yeah. The Slumbering Sands event runs through the 12th and adds Visor Slackoff, which can evolve, and Kamala returns. So if you want those, go get them. Kamala's, obviously very difficult to get. Also, the Spelunker's Cove event is running from the 15th through the 18th of June and adds a shiny Crabrawler.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's been added.
Wow. All right. So TCG news is somehow the longest section we have this week. TCG Live is having a summer bash starting June 4th. There are themed missions, new catchphrases, and new bundles. There's also a free gift every Thursday for the month because it's the 1 year anniversary of Pokemon Live becoming a piece of software that people can use. Or something like that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Let's not talk about how the game's broken all the time. Japan also showed off Terrapagos EX from their upcoming set, confirming the stellar leaks from a few months ago. They also showed a stadium that increases your bench size if you have a Terra Pokemon, and an A-Spec tool that reduces the energy cost for a Terra Pokemon's attacks, and a supporter called Crispin. That's good for decks running multiple types of basic energies. Mirage Gate at home is what it says, and that's kind of correct, actually, though. What it does is it allows you to play it. You can you grab 2 basic energy cards from your deck, you attach one to a Pokemon, and you add the other one to your hand. So it is good. The set Stellar Crown releases in September in the United States and the West, I assume. And because it's a slow news week, because nothing else is going on in the Pokemon world while we await more Plaza news, we have Wo Chien's News Corner, brought at a snail's pace. Back in 2014, this week it was around E3. Remember E3?
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Around E3.
Kids today.
Around E3 for Oraz. Coro leaked the Mega Starters a couple days before the presentation. At E3, they revealed Mega Groudon gained the Fire typing, and they also revealed Mega Sableye and Mega Deontay to the world over the following days. Yeah, that's true. I do remember this.
Yeah, I remember finding out for the first time that Groudon was not a Fire type.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, Puckle's Pokey opinion is how we're going to wrap this up. Pikachu is poofed out of existence. Which one of the 1,000+ Pokemon are you replacing it with? Clefairy. Done.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
that
going
was
back to the
easy.
original topic.
Wow. That was the easy.
That's how you know we're all old school. That's how you all know we're all old school.
Clefairy. Yeah, we're done. We win. I mean, that is historically what would happen. I don't know if it would be as successful. I think Pikachu is literally chosen because somebody told them that there weren't enough yellow mascots outside of Winnie the Pooh.
I think so.
And so they decided to go with Pikachu literally based on that because there were some pink mascots already. Like Kirby existed, right?
Yeah, Kirby and lots of pink things like Hello Kitty, Barbie.
Yeah.
But now you see something yellow and you almost automatically go Pokemon.
Yeah. I think that was a wise decision. I don't know it would be if it would be as successful if Pikachu wasn't the mascot.
I think
if I had to pick a non-Clefairy, I kind of want to give it to Riolu though.
Oh, nowadays, yeah, Riolu would work very well. Yeah. The only problem with Riolu is I think using a mouse is much easier than being like dog. I don't know. That's my only thing.
And Riolu has a kind of complex design. You probably want something that
you need something Gen 1 for the simple-ish design.
Yeah.
Sunkern.
Something that is
not
Sunkern.
No.
If you do something that looks like a Riolu, you can mess it up enough that it doesn't look like a Riolu. But if you draw a really bad Pikachu, you can still tell that it's Pikachu, you know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It just occurred to me that you know how Pikachu's gone through a weight loss journey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine if Clefairy had gone on that same weight loss journey instead.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
That's so good. That's so good.
Ouch.
I love that.
No.
I love that.
Oh, that would be so terrible. No.
That's very good. I like that. I like that. That's a thought.
Oh.
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, which one would be a good replacement? I don't know. Probably I don't know. It would have to be something Gen 1 because you want something simple, right? Like Clefairy would work for like the drawing test, I think.
Yeah, I think Clefairy's problem is that pink is too associated with girl stuff in certain countries.
I agree with you.
And so they would be afraid, like, I know that wasn't the reasoning behind them choosing Pikachu, like, back in Japan. It was what you said.
Yeah.
But they would have had a problem in the West at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I think even if you, like, choose,
pink,
like, Charmander or something, you still have a problem. What? Were there any other yellow
what about
Pokemon?
Sandshrew?
Sandshrew, I think, could do it. I think Sandshrew, there's a chance to do Sandshrew.
Sandshrew is a good one. It's like... but then, you know, there was already a pretty famous video game character that is a hedgehog and rolls up into a ball.
True.
Was there, though?
Good point.
Yeah, that was before Pokemon. I played Sonic before I played Pokemon.
Yeah, that was certainly before Pokemon, that's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, honestly, something like... Because everything else I can think of, like,
Pichu.
Oddish is a good one.
Pichu. Oddish is not terrible. I feel like... I think the thing, like, you want a Pokemon that is feasible
looks
for it
like
to
a
know
pet.
Tackle Attack, you know?
Yeah, and also, like, Oddish is a plant. And,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, little kids want a pet, not a plant.
Exactly.
So-
Lickitung.
No.
No.
Lickitung. That's my choice.
No.
You know what? The Nidoran line.
Oh, that...
Maybe, you know what? Dual icons.
I could see the Nidorans because Nido, like, I don't know, like Nidorino is like one of the first Pokemon you see in the game.
You ever see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally
Iconic.
see that. Yeah.
Icon.
I could totally see that. Yeah. Yep. I think we solved it.
I think you're right.
Well, on that note, then, we are going to kick it on over to our trivia segment, our Poke Quiz segment, where we're going to quiz your co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to our trivia segment. Thank you for that introduction. We're going to jump right into it. Our first question is going to be from Anjur. In Generation 1, Charizard was weak to 1 additional type. What is that type?
What type is missing now? Does that count? No, that
No.
probably doesn't.
No, I think it's so weak to 1 additional type is so. There's 2 ways that I can see going around this. And one is like, wasn't ice type, like the type chart for ice was different in Gen 1 in some ways. And so it might have been that
Did
like
fire not
fire
resist
didn't
ice?
resist it. And
It was
so,
only super effective, maybe?
maybe like, yeah, so if fire didn't resist ice back in Gen 1, which I honestly don't remember if that was the case, then Charizard
Yeah, I just remember
would
the
have been
bug
weak to
poison
ice.
thing. What else
Yeah,
changed?
exactly. But it wouldn't affect Charizard.
Exactly.
But I think I remember hearing somewhere that the type effectiveness chart for ice also changed after Gen 1. So that
Because they had to make it worse.
Yeah, they
Because ice hasn't
honestly
suffered enough.
Because
ice hasn't suffered enough.
Exactly.
I like that line of thinking.
Yeah, because I remember at some point someone said, no, Charizard wasn't a flying type in Gen 1, but that wasn't the case. It was always like a flying type. It just doesn't learn fly or something like that.
Can't you teach it fly? I could have sworn you could teach it fly.
Maybe just in yellow or something like that. But anyway, I think my answer would be the ice type thingy.
I like that answer. I like that line of thinking. I co-sign that.
Okay, let's go with that one.
Ice is correct. In Generation 1, Ice did do neutral damage against fire, making Ice super effective against a fire flying type.
Nice.
So
that's cool.
You guys are one for one. So this next question is going to come to you from Ace Trainer Nova. Which 2 legendary Pokemon can have Unnerve as an ability?
Well, technically, the 2 Calyrex's riders have it as part of their S1.
That's the same Pokemon. Calyrex is the same Pokemon.
Yeah.
Calyrex is one of the answers, though, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, that's half of it.
I think...
I'll probably give you the point anyway for getting that, but there is one more.
Can we count Tyranitar as a pseudo-legendary?
No.
This one, I'm surprised you guys didn't get this one, because this one I would have gotten.
Well, we're not you. Let me think. I'm trying to remember what abilities all the legendaries have.
It's usually pressure.
It's usually pressure.
Oh, wait. No, I know what it is. It just hit me. It's Mewtwo.
Yeah, I was thinking about Mewtwo too. I think it's that one.
Mewtwo? Yeah. Mewtwo's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Which is correct. Look at it.
Yep, there you go. 2 for 2.
You would not be munching on a snack in front of Mewtwo.
The cat fetus is like, yeah. They will never make another design like that. It's so bizarre.
The next one is your Pokedex entry question, as always. And it's going to come to you guys from Smeargale19. And the entry comes from Pokemon Scarlet. And it reads, with its shining light, it lures its prey close. However, the light also happens to attract ferocious fish Pokemon, its natural predators. Who's that Pokemon?
Okay, so it...
At first I'm thinking something like Chinchou or Lantern, but they don't feel like they'd have prey. So, like, maybe...
Well, anglerfish do have prey. There's also the Inkay and Malamar line.
Oh, yeah, I could see Inkay for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else that is luminous and attracts prey with the light and would be able to be eaten by fish Pokemon? I don't know. I like both of these lines as an answer. So if you want to pick one.
Oh, no. I think Inkay might be likelier.
Let's go with that one.
Inkay is unfortunately incorrect.
Oh,
your second entry is going to come to you from Pokemon Pearl.
Oh,
and it reads,
old school.
To avoid detection by predators, it crawls along the sea floor using the 2 fins on its chest.
Oh, it's a bottom dweller. Okay.
Yeah. It could still be Chinchou.
It could still be Chinchou. That makes sense.
It could also be something like Finneon or Luminion.
I feel like those are not bottom dwellers. Well, I don't know. The Butterfree of the Sea.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Chinchou as an answer. You do find it by diving in Gen 3, so...
Yeah, and it has its 2 little fins. So.
Yeah. I like that one. I would go with that one.
Yeah, let's do Chinchou.
Chinchou is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is Lumineon.
Oh my gosh.
Lumineon.
Oh my gosh, Luminion, you fake for that.
If you play new Pokemon Snap, they do have Luminion just like crawling on the floor.
I was literally thinking about that because I was playing it this week. I was like, I'm stressed. I need to just take pictures.
That game's fun. That game is like surprisingly good. I enjoy new Pokemon Snap.
It's so fun. I love it. Yeah, I was taking pictures of Ho-Oh because I had never done that before, and that was a blast. Bummer.
Well,
all right. Oh well,
we got close.
You're still 2 for 3. Your next question is your multiple answer question. You can get up to 3 points here. These are all from Foxy. As of now, only 3 types have not been represented by a mythical Pokemon, aside from Arceus forms. What are these 3 types that are not represented by mythical Pokemon?
Okay.
This ties into today's topic, so I figured that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one. I agree.
So, let's rule them all out. We have, obviously, Psychic, Grass, Steel, Fairy.
Obviously Dragon.
Water. Mythical Pokemons that are dragons. Yeah, I'm sure
I guess I'm just thinking of Legends, but there must be one, right?
Okay, wait. Is there a fire one? Yes, Volcanion. Let's move on.
Also Victini.
Okay. Is there an electric one? Yes, Zeraora. Let's move on. Now, I'm fair. Okay, yeah.
Darkrai, but is there a
dark.
ghost? Is there a ghost one?
A ghost one? Yes, Marshadow. Ghost and Fighting.
Okay, yeah. And that's a
rule
fighting
those
ghost.
out.
Okay.
Rock for Diancie. But I don't think that there's a ground one. Question mark,
I think
question
ground
mark.
is one of them. You're right. Yeah.
Let's put it to the side for now. Another likely one is Bug, because
Genesect.
Genesect. Thank you. Okay. Then you have normal, Psychic, and Fighting again with Meloetta.
Well, Arceus is normal by default, right? So I
Yeah.
assume it counts for that.
Yeah, but
Even if we're not counting all the forms.
We have Meloetta as well, so we have that covered anyway.
Yeah. And that is also, okay.
Then, what else is...
Is there an ice? Because there's tons of ice legends, but is there an ice mythical?
I'm trying to go backwards. Like, what are the mythicals in, like, Gen 9, 8, 7?
There you have your Parachant, your Melmetals.
Yeah.
What else was there?
Well, So far, our hypotheses
Ground and Ice
are Ground and Ice.
seem to be our 2 choices so far.
Yeah, and we've excluded the 3 starter types.
And it occurs to me, maybe Dragon is one, because all the dragons might just be regular legendaries, right? Like,
It's starting to sound like that, because unless I'm forgetting types, you know what, I'm going to take notes. Fire, Water, and Grass we have eliminated. Electric and what about Poison? A Petarant.
Petarant, yeah.
So we have Electric, Normal, Poison, Bug, Steel, Fairy, Rock,
Diancie.
Yeah. 7, 8, 9. We are
The
at
icon.
10. And what about Flying? We must have something.
Shaman has a
Shaman
form.
Sky, good. Flying. And that's 11 types. And so, Fighting and Ghost.
Marshadow.
Yeah, Marshadow. I don't know if I'm counting Fighting twice, but okay.
Well, there's Meloetta too, so.
Yeah, exactly. And Psychic. So, I think we might. Are we forgetting something?
I'm sure we are, but I feel like Ice, Ground, and Dragon is a good starting point.
You can try to lock those in, and we can take a look.
Okay, let's try with Ground first.
Ground is correct. That is one of them.
Okay. And then let's say Ice.
Ice is also one of them.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like Ground never gets anything.
Yeah.
Or Ground.
Let's say Dragon then.
Dragon is also correct. That is all 3 of them.
Good. Good.
Well, dang.
We did it.
That's wild. That's wild that they never made a, mythical dragon.
Yeah, mythical dragon
You gotta
does
have all your
surprise me.
dragons.
I wonder if they do it because, people might be upset that, it's locked to an event or something.
And there are so
they
few
would
of
be
them
upset
in the
about that
first
at all.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Are there? I feel like they make so many I don't know.
I don't know. All right.
There are
Well,
also very few ice types. So
all right. So,
poor ice types.
you guys are 5 for 4. You have a chance to go and get another point here by going to your base stat question. And speaking of dragon types, this one is from the Real EV, and he would like to know what dragon type Pokemon has the highest base defense.
well, Turtonator has a really high one, but we should use our
Is it
hint.
higher than Dialga? Yeah, let's use the hint.
This is a dual type Pokemon, which is most
Okay,
dragon
we
types.
assumed that.
from a later generation, from the latter half of Pokemon's existence.
It does sound
so
like
5 onward,
Turtonator.
we'll say that sounds like Turtonator.
Yeah.
It is not part of an
that
evolution
does eliminate Dialga. It's Turtonator. Okay.
Okay.
Not part of an evolution line, Turtonator.
Turtonator.
I mean, yeah.
Are we locking that in?
Yes.
Turtonator is correct, yes. Turtonator has a base defense of 135. It's followed up by Archaludon and Mega Salamence at 130, and then a Komodo at 125. So that gives you guys 6 in our race to the end of the year. So let me pull up the trivia score. I don't think anybody's gotten anything except for... Yeah, there we go. So in first place, there's Bocephus with 8 points. In second, we have a 2-way tie between Whimsicott and Sublime with 6.
There you go.
Everybody's game. All right. Well, on that note, guys, that has been our Poke Quiz. We are going to kick it on over to our topic. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, puclpodcast.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today are the top 5 and bottom 5 mythical Pokemon, because we love our list here at Puckle. I do love, honestly, this has been a fun format, and I love that we can keep it rolling. So for those of you who are unaware, we're each going to make a nominee for a top and a bottom slot until we all agree on the top and bottom 5 mythical Pokemon. I feel like the bottom's going to be really easy.
Very easy. We should probably just start there.
I feel like we're going to be able to agree on at least 4 Pokemon right off the bat.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I think it'll be very easy for us to do that. But yeah, we're going to go around. We're going to make these nominations. We're going to discuss them. And the criteria is purely ours. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys.
Follow along at home and make your own list. That's what you can do.
Make your own list and then send it to us. And we'll read them on the show.
Yeah, and we'll discuss.
Next week. So yeah, I will go first. We'll start with a bottom slot. Very easy.
Yep.
Mostly because I want to rant. I want to say Meltan / Melmetal.
Yeah,
Maybe more specifically Melmetal.
I would say so, yeah.
I will say Melmetal only because Melmetal upsets me in the way that it was executed. Meltan, very cute, very good execution on the reveal.
Yes.
Oh, that was such an amazing moment to live through.
Yeah, it was one of the best mythical reveals we've had honestly since I would say Victini almost.
Yeah, almost ever, actually.
It was one of the better ones.
It's particularly impressive because it's so hard to surprise people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was so good.
They managed to keep it under wraps. It was actually mysterious. You were playing a Pokemon game,
And it's a fun design. It's cute.
and you didn't know what was going on. It was great.
My biggest problem though is Melmetal is trash because not because it's a bad Pokemon competitively or anything, but the way that you evolve it. The only way to evolve a Meltan into a Melmetal is to go to Pokemon Go and have 400 Meltan candies and evolve it into Melmetal. And they've never introduced a way to evolve it in game, even though there is evolution data in game for it. You can't, like, if Meltan were to evolve into Melmetal in game, it gets the evolution move Thunder Punch, which is very thematic, and it should happen. Meltan could evolve. I think this might be something they should think about implementing in a future game, because we just got the new item Metal Alloy in Scarlet and Violet with to evolve Duraludon to Archdaludon. And I think that would be a really cool way to evolve Meltan into Melmetal.
You know what? Maybe they'll change that in the future.
I hope so. Meltan's not in the game in Scarlet and Violet, so like this is something that could change in the future. I really, really dislike that there is no evolution method in game. I mean, I've complained about this in the past for things like Weirdeer and stuff like that, but at least when I catch a Stantler in Scarlet and Violet, I can send that Stantler back to PLA.
You can do it on the Switch.
I can't even do it on anything. Like, if I get Meltan sent to home, I can't put it back in Pokemon Go.
It's over. Yeah.
It's permanently a Meltan. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Fix it, Pokemon.
Yeah, it's not nice.
It's really bad.
Yeah, so Melmetal is my bottom.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
Just for how they did that, yeah.
Yeah, what if they fix it?
It's the coolest Pokemon you'll never have.
If they fix it, I will be so happy. Yeah, I mean, I have one too, but...
We all have one, but like, never again. Let me tell you that. Pain in the ass.
If they do it again, I'm going to be upset. I mean, I think Pokemon Go is kind of waning anyway, so I think they're kind of like off the, hey, let's try to convert the players from one to the other or whatever. So, it's fine. It's fine. All right, for a top pick, though, I think this is going to be much more contentious.
That's harder.
But,
harder.
Yeah. I think it's going to be much more contentious, but I want to nominate Petrarunt only because I think it was a mythical done right and well with a story.
I don't like its design.
Okay.
I hate its design.
No, yeah. I don't like it either.
Okay. I'll be shot down.
And it's a cool type. It bothers me how they...
It's a cool type.
I hate its stats. I hate, ugh.
I don't like the noise it makes.
Okay. I just hate the vibe of this Pokemon.
Truly, honestly, yes.
I want to like it. I really want to like it. And I'm just like, I don't.
I want to like it. Like, I wanted it to be...
I like the way it was released. I like the story. I thought it was done very well.
Yeah.
I love how it's based on a Pecha Berry. That is very cool.
I love the whole story behind it. Like, we told it all on the show. We actually forgot the most important part, which is that Momotaro befriended the three friends by giving them sweets. But I loved everything about it until I saw it. And then I was like,
It's ugly. What is this?
I wanted it to be like more of a, a cute...
It's the leader of the worst trio.
It already has that going against it.
And I'm like, yep, you can hang with those, because y'all can just go to, the same penitentiary together. I'm not cool with them.
I'm firmly on my daughter Augerpon's side. I don't like you guys.
Okay. We'll drop it. Petrarunt's done. Officially cooked. Cooked.
Sorry, Pecha.
I don't know who wants to go next. Whoever wants to go next can go next.
Let's just do the bottoms, because, that'll be easier.
I mean, you can do both. You can nominate one both. Nominate one of both. It's fine.
Yeah, sure.
A top and a bottom.
Yeah.
Fiona.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we doing, Fiona?
It's a mythical with extra steps.
Yeah.
It's mythical with extra steps for less payout.
Yeah. No, it's so weird to me. I don't know. I don't understand Fiona. I'm going to be honest. It has been...
It's the Glalie of mythicals. Why?
It's been how long? It's been... that was 2007? So it's been, I guess 17 years since this came out. Because
Yeah, like Puckle.
17 years of mediocrity.
Because I remember in 2007, I bought Pokemon Ranger specifically so I could play it and get the Manaphy egg. And then I could move the Manaphy egg into my Diamond and Pearl game. Manaphy egg, by the way, really cool way to also with the side games. I love when side games give you something in the main game.
On one hand, that's cool. On the other, you are essentially paywalling a single Pokemon.
Yeah, okay. Pokemon has done this in its entire history. I don't know. I feel like that's just something I'm over because Pokemon has just done this.
It has paywalled Pokemon, but not like a single one that you have to get from a completely different game. Like, it's annoying enough.
I don't know. So it's much better than Gen 3, where Gen 3, you were essentially, like, if you wanted to complete the National Dex in Generation 3, you had to buy and play through 5 different games.
I don't know. But they were still all...
That's true, though. That's true.
They were still all mainline Pokemon games. So if you liked playing Pokemon mainline games, you were still playing that game to get that Pokemon.
Yeah, but it is better than most mythical distributions where they were just that distributions. And you had to physically, up until this point in Pokemon's history, you would have to go somewhere to get like a Deoxys, or go somewhere to get a Mew, or go somewhere and get a Celebi. This was the first time you could do it at home.
I guess that's fair by comparison. Okay.
Like, if you put it in context of what it is, this is much, much different.
I guess. Yeah, okay.
This is much, much
Anyway,
different.
yeah, Fiona is very, very cute, but mostly pointless.
Yeah, no, the fact that you bred it, and it's just like, first, Manaphy can breed. 2, the breeding is disappointing because you just get Fiona.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's just worse.
I'm also very upset at how cool the Manaphy egg is, and then I get just normal eggs for everything else. Sorry, that's a complete aside.
No, but it's true. Like, if Fiona was at least cuter than Manaphy, but it's not. Manaphy is cuter.
Yeah, no, Fiona goes on the bottom. Do you have a top nominee, Sublime?
Yeah, that was an easy one. I am a big fan, I don't know if y'all are too, of the Gen 6 Mythicals in particular, and I want to make a case for Diancie, the only Gen 6 Pokemon to get a Mega Form, a Pokemon that got a reveal for its Mega Form, as we mentioned earlier, Fairy Rock, icon to the Carbink, just like a Diamond Princess Diva, and we love her. I love her.
I can agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm okay with Diancie. I'm not mad about Diancie. I think Diancie, like, so like every generation up until I think it was 1 through 7, has like a little like fairy-ish type mythical, right?
The pixies, they call them, I think.
The pixies.
Yeah, the little pixies, because you had your Mew, Celebi, Victini, etc.
Yeah, Mew, Celebi, Victini, Jirachi,
Up to Magearna, essentially.
yeah, up to Magearna, because they stopped doing it in Gen 8.
No more pixies.
I like them.
Yeah, I love the base 100s across the board. Mythicals,
Yeah,
they're cute.
yeah.
Like, it was fine.
Also, I love that Diancie goes from like, ooh, I'm tanky to, ooh, I'm a sweeper. I love that about it.
I do think Diancie is one of the better ones in terms of design.
Absolutely.
Like, it's better than
Hard to
Manaphy.
agree.
It's better than Manaphy.
Yeah.
All right, well, Whimsicott, your turn.
Whew, okay. I'll go with the bottom one and say Zarude.
Yes, I was thinking that one too.
I like that. If that's like, yeah, that's easy because Zarude shouldn't exist.
One of the most underwhelming. One of the just most underwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely underwhelming.
Yeah, the typing's not cool, and it doesn't.
It's been done before several times.
I feel like we could all agree that like we by that point we were just so burned out on mythicals that were created solely to sell a movie.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I don't really understand the point of the mythicals in the movies. I don't know if they were making enough money from the movies, introducing the new Pokemon. I don't really know.
Maybe it's to promote when they were coming out. I don't know. And the thing is, I liked all 3 of the Gen 6 movies for their mythicals.
So I even like some of the Gen 7 ones, like where they do like alternate Ash.
The Zeraora one? Love that. Love the Zeraora.
The Zeraora movie was wonderful. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Zarude on the bottom.
I don't even like its design. It's like, what are we doing here? Why is this a mythical?
Exactly. It just like came out of nowhere too, and everybody was like, okay.
I guess.
And it was the only. It was like the only Gen 8 mythical. I feel like
it's a flop. Yeah.
Gen 8 is just full of so many like we're trying, like it's growing pains and transitions.
Yeah, politely, Gen 8 was the flop era of the Switch.
Kind of, yeah. I think Gen 8 was like this weird transition era, and they were like trying to do their old stuff, but while also trying to set up new stuff, and just everything just missed.
I like the bird variants. I love the new versions of like Moltres, but like Zarude, yeah, those were winners. Zarude is not on that list.
Yeah, it's like, as you said, Zarude is underwhelming, and the Galar games are mostly underwhelming. They have some really cool things.
With it, like, Crown Tundra is like the Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor are what save.
Those were good. Yes. And for a top nomination, I have to go with the OG Mew.
Yeah, I feel like we have
That's
to.
fair.
Like, yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
It's under a truck.
The original,
It's under a truck. It's
allegedly.
iconic. It's literally what...
It learns everything.
And it's like, first of all, it's so freaking cute.
It also defines what a mythical is, right? Like, it
defined what a mythical is. It is possibly one of the reasons that Pokemon was so successful in the first place, because there was an element of mystery to it, something...
Also, you want to talk about all these, like, crappy movies they make? Mew is the original, and it, like, co-stars with Mewtwo in the best way. Yeah, it was everything.
that was so hype. It was so hype.
It was so good. Like, I could watch Mew's scenes in the first movie on loop because it just gives me so much joy.
It actually felt mythical, and none of the new movies make them feel mythical, you know, but like the mysteries of Mew, yeah.
Well, Zarude specifically, like Zarude, there's a horde of them in the Zarude movie. And like Mew's like, yeah, I'm the only one, guys.
I also love the lore of it being potentially like the original DNA, which all Pokemon come from. That's cool.
It has really cool lore, both in the world and in our world.
It also does it without being like, I don't know, like really in your face. Like I think of like Arceus, right? Where it's just like, I am God. And then Mew is just like, yeah, I'm just like a Pokemon that's like left over and hanging out.
He seems so much chiller, you know? Mew is like a chill mythical.
He's like playful and nice, but yeah, I just love him so much.
All right, well, there we go. I guess it's back to me. I get a top and a bottom. I think we've gotten like the low-hanging fruit bottoms out, but
It's gonna be a little harder now for the bottom.
yeah, we got the low-hanging fruit ones. And so I'm gonna go for the top first, because I don't think you'll agree with this one, but I kind of like it. Only from like this is mostly nostalgia for me. Deoxys. And that's because
I was thinking Deoxys is a fair choice.
Well, because like I was getting like, that was when I was like it was Gen 3, so like I was getting into Pokemon. The internet was starting to be a thing, and I remember because it was a mythical and it's just hiding in the game's code, and so if you do just like a little bit of minor digging, you could see that it existed. But it was like that one gave me like the Mew feeling again. Because, like, we had Celebi, we're like, oh, that's just the Gen 2 Mew. And then we had Jirachi, we're like, okay, that's just the Gen 3 Mew. But then I'm like, there's another one in Gen 3? And that, like, I, like, was trying to figure out what it was and what it was about. I remember that gave me, like, a lot of mythical feelings when I discovered that.
Isn't it the first Pokemon to have forms, too?
If you don't count, like, the unknown forms or something like that, right? I mean, it could do a form change. It was the first Pokemon that could do form changes. Because it was, to be fair, it was a clunky form change in Gen 3. Because it was based on the game.
The game you had, yeah.
So I don't personally like Deoxys, but I agree with it being at the top because it's just cool in several different ways.
I just really...
There's nothing else like it, yeah.
Yeah, I just really think it's cool. Yeah, okay, cool. So bottom. Now I've got to choose the bottom. This is going to be... Yeah, it's harder. So the one I would make a push for, if I were to choose a bottom, because like now we're getting to like, which ones are like just the worst, the best? If you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would probably personally recommend Hoopa. For a number of reasons. I think Hoopa... I think Gen 6, I love the designs, and I think Deoncé has like some cool in-game lore. I feel like Hoopa and Volcanion both, but Hoopa probably a little bit more so, got very little in terms of like in-game lore building, like whatsoever. It was one of those like, hey, here's the Pokemon, go watch the movie. And the movie for this one was particularly bad.
Okay, I haven't even seen it, but I believe you.
That one was pretty bad, actually. Like, the Hoopa movie was not fun. It was like, the hoops are a really cool idea, and I wish they would have built more on that in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Because, like, obviously those are Hoopa's rings that are taking you to different dimensions to catch legendary Pokemon.
It's also, like, I do like that it's a mythical that, like, kind of has, like, a, like, cover legendary stat, like, when it changes. That's fun, and it changes type.
It's cool. I just think they, like, I don't know, they, like, started dropping the ball. Like, that's the one where I felt like they were, like, really just phoning it in and dropping the ball, was Hoopa. Because I'm just like, it could do so many cool things.
Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say no because I don't like Hoopa, so...
Yeah, I like that's the one I feel like it's one of the weaker mythicals.
Yeah, I'm personally okay with...
That's fair. I like it, and I'm fine with it.
All right, we'll put Hoopa down there then. All right, so we've got 3 for the top, 4 for the bottom. Sublime, you get to go.
Oh, this is hard now. I'm gonna make a case. There's a lot that I like, and I'm like, gosh, who do I pick for top? Because, like, I'm personally a big fan of, Darkrai, but I don't think I would make a case for it.
I could make a case for Darkrai, but again, based on nostalgia. That's all me.
But I'm gonna make a case for another Gen 3. I love that Jirachi, we think about it every year because of the Tanabata Festival.
Tanabata, yeah.
Tanabata, yeah.
Where they release it, and they always change it up. They always do something different with it. So it's like, oh, it's my friend Jirachi again. What's good? How you doing, Jirachi? It's a feel-good Pokemon, you know?
It also has a really banger design.
It's got a great design.
They did very well with Jirachi, like, compared to...
It's, like, maybe the best Pixie.
It might be, honestly.
I think it also helped that, at least, like, in the US... Well, in the US and Europe, they did a very good job distributing it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the US, less so, but in the US, you could get it from the Pokemon Coliseum bonus disc very early on in the generation cycle, which was very nice. And then in Europe, you can get it from Pokemon Channel, which is a much better way to do it. Or a much better way to end Pokemon Channel, I should say, than whatever we got in the US for Pokemon Channel, which is just watching TV and then nothing happens. Again, it's one of those things where I like it when side games give you something. Like, I really like when side games give you something.
But I do like that it's something that is perpetually released because of its association with the real festival. And that's fun.
I'm not against Jirachi. Jirachi, I think, is a banger.
I think it's, again, maybe my favorite of the Pixies as well. So I definitely agree with putting it on the top.
Oh, bottom is much harder, though, at this point. How many do we have? Are we at 3 or 4?
We have 4. So we're on the last one. We've got Melmetal, Fion, Zarude, and Hoopa. Yeah.
Oh, this is hard. Okay. I kind of want to put Pecharunt in the bottom.
I mean, based on how much you guys dislike it, that's fine with me. I just thought the release was done very well.
I think
the release was done well, but I don't think that's a good reason to put it in the top.
That's fair.
I don't know. I'm on the fence about this because I think, like, the way it was given to us gives it just enough points to edge out.
Like, the narrative, love, but as a Pokemon itself, and I'm like, ugh, it's just a letdown. And I feel like none of the other Mythicals are a letdown in that way.
I think there's one that I really personally don't like, but...
Well, what is it? Maybe we can see which one is worse.
It's Volcanion. Because...
You know, it's a cool type, but it's ugly.
It's a really cool type, but it's ugly. And also, there is those...
Its movie's not even about it. It's about Magearna.
I haven't seen the movie. What bugs me...
Is that the one where they, like, make a gazillion Mega Evolutions at once?
I don't know, like, Volcanion just is kind of a butt the entire movie, and because he's just like, I gotta protect Magearna.
It's really ugly. Nothing about its design gives you fire water besides its color, also. Like, what even is it?
No in-game lore either. There's less in-game lore for that than there is for Hoopa.
What bugs me about Volcanion? Yeah, there's this place in Lumious City, that plaza with a name that has something to do with the shade of red. I can't remember it right now. Where it seems really obvious that it has a connection with Volcanion because of the name, because of the fact that an NPC that stands there tells you something about a Pokemon that is blatantly Volcanion, but then there's no event to get it. There is no actual connection. It's just a thread left hanging, and it bothers me.
Well, Gen 6 is like the gen where they just kind of like started dumping mythicals on us without explanation.
I like I don't know.
Like Gen 5, at least Keldeo and Meloetta had like in-game events. Genesect also has like in-game stuff. Yeah.
And Victini too, yeah.
No, Victini has a big one.
Great one, yeah.
So I think I would counteract your Pecharunt with Volcanion, and I'll let you guys decide.
What's our bottom list?
Our bottoms so far are...
It's Melmetal, Fion, Zarude, Hoopa.
I would let me hear y'all out on this. Which do you think is worse, Hoopa or Petulant?
Petulant. Oh.
Justice for Hoopa. I think it's more interesting than Petulant.
I mean, as a Pokemon, yes, I agree with that. I mean, the TCG cards that are coming out actually like save it pretty well, I think, but that's fine.
Hoopa had some great TCG cards.
Oh,
too,
it still does. I think there's there's a fighting type Hoopa right now that like sees play occasionally, like when normal types get real big. Okay, I could switch Hoopa for Petulant. I could be convinced.
Yeah, and then let's put Volcanion in there to represent the worst of the Gen 6.
That's a good negotiation. I'll take it.
Because to be honest, I do think Volcanion is worse than Hoopa.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right. Do you have a top?
Okay, so I do have a top, and it is Victini, because
Victini is a good one. I was gonna like argue for Zeraora just because the design's cool and it's a good Pokemon.
That's also really cool.
It's just a cool Pokemon.
I think they both have an excellent design, like truly excellent. But Zeraora was dropped on us, and Victini has lore, a lot of it.
That's true. Zeraora is just like really cool.
I love it, but it's just something that is there, so I have no emotional connection to it. Whereas Victini...
You haven't seen that movie either. You're telling me you haven't seen...
I haven't seen any of the movies after the third.
Oh, no.
There's so many really good designs left. Like Marshadow has a great design.
Yeah.
Zeraora and Marshadow were both like, I think, shafted a little bit. Zeraora less so. Marshadow more so. Because like in the movie, it's also doesn't play like a huge role. But like, oh man, that Zeraora movie, I actually saw it in theaters because they had like the one showing or whatever in the US. So I went and saw it with my wife. I do not cry at movies very often. I cried at that movie. It was actually like that one was actually like it was a good movie. Like when Pokemon stopped doing like the in-universe Ash and like alternate universe Ash movies, much better movies, I think. Except for Dada Zarud. They dropped the ball there. They also did it in the anime, actually. Like that's the last episode on Netflix. It's actually alternate universe Ash, like the same one from the movies. Is at the last episode of the anime they put on Netflix for Thatch. But I digress. I could go for Victini. I really like Victini too. I was going to mention Victini as well.
Well,
it has good lore.
Has my vote.
It does. There's a lot of good contenders for the top.
Because I also love Shamin and its lore and its alternate form. So, like, honestly, half of the Pixies would deserve to be in the top. But then there's no room for anything else.
Well, that's what we got. That's just about what we've got, if you look at the list. 4 of them did make the top.
Well, yeah, we have Mew, Jirachi, and Victini, but I adore Shamin. Deoxys is not a Pixie.
Deoxys is a Pixie.
No, but Deoxys.
Deoxys is a Pixie.
She thought you said Deoxys.
Oh, yeah, Deoxys is a Pixie.
We have Deoxys, Mew, Jirachi, and Victini, yeah.
They're represented. They're well represented.
We just have Deoxys is the other one. I don't know, like, I have so many, like...
Maybe we should pick a non-Pixie?
I don't care. I think it's fine. It's our list. It could be whatever it wants to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just have a lot of very fond memories of, like, the Gen 4 ones in general. Because that was when they started doing, like, the in-game events for them. Like, Darkrai, you could go catch it. Shaman, you went and caught it. They didn't release the Arceus event properly until, like, BDSP with the Azure Flute. But I always thought that was very cool when they would do it that way.
Yeah.
And I remember like those were the days when like I just got my driver's license, so like I could drive to the GameStop to go get them.
Yeah, yeah.
And there were like memories of going with friends to do that.
Shamin also has like one of the best events in Legends Arceus.
That is a cute event in Legends Arceus.
When the flowers bloom again, I cried. I legit cried. I cry all the time. It's true, but I did cry for that.
I will say I really enjoy how much they quote unquote have been demythicalizing older Pokemon like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I very much have enjoyed that. Where you could catch these older Pokemon. I think when we cut off Bank, I think we get rid of like Celebi, which is kind of sad.
They can always change that.
I think Celebi, because right now the way they demythicalize Celebi is through Pokemon Crystal on the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
And I could see a way for them to fix that. Well, hopefully they'll fix it at least. Just bring the same games from the Virtual Console to Switch Online. Like, maybe we should just do that. Like, that. If they do that, that will be the moment I pay for, like, the extra Switch Online. If they bring me Pokemon games on Switch Online.
I think I would too, which is sad. Like, I just want to, buy it and own the game, but...
The way that I would, what would really push me over the edge too is if they made them compatible with the Pokemon Stadium games on Virtual Console.
Yes, they need to do that. They need to.
What's worse is I remember when the not the Virtual Console, but Nintendo Switch Online was starting up. Like, they had programming set up for transfer pack functionality in the N64 emulator. So I think the technology does exist. So hopefully they fix that and let me do it soon.
So we're saying Victini, maybe? If
they did that, I'd be so happy. Yeah, Victini. Yeah, we put Victini. Yeah, I already rolled this down. We have the list. I don't think any of us are upset with it.
That's fine. Yeah, that works. Cool. No.
Yeah, for those of you...
The problem is I want it to be a top 15, bottom 5.
Honestly, yeah.
For those of you at home, our top 5 are Deontay, Mew, Deoxys, Jirachi, and Victini, and our bottom 5 are Melmetal, Fione, Zarude, Volcanion, and Petrarunt. If you disagree or you have a different list than ours, please send those in to puclpodcast@gmail.com, and we will take a look at those next week. With that said...
Yeah, tell us why you're right and we're wrong.
All right. With that said, though, guys, we're going to kick it on over to our Pokemon of the episode. We will catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode is National Dex number 151. Mew, the new species Pokemon.
New species Pokemon.
What a name.
Which is not even true.
Yeah.
Because it can use all kinds of moves, many scientists believe Mew to be the ancestor of Pokemon.
Wow. Yeah, Mew is a good Pokemon. Base 100 across the board. Psychic type. Can learn everything. Seems like fun.
Just give it what you want. It does it all.
I love the Bulbapedia section where it goes through the learn set and where you would typically see these are the TMs a Pokemon can learn. It literally just has a note that says Mew can learn every TM in Generation 9.
Yeah, it can use every TM in every game. So, just do what you want.
I did really love the Mew event they did in Scarlet and Violet, though, that this past year, where you got your own Mew. It was a different Terra type.
To fight Mewtwo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cute. I really liked that. It was so good.
I loved it, too.
It was so good. Yeah, they did such a good job with that one. And it's mostly demythicalized.
Good shiny, too.
Yeah, it's also, the shiny's good. It's mostly demythicalized now, too, I think. You get one... There's so many ways to get a Mew, actually, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go from most difficult to easiest, probably. Mostly because I like this kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that makes me very happy, is how to obtain a Mew. There's Emerald. In Pokemon Emerald, there's Faraway Island, which requires the old sea map, which isn't an event that ever came to the United States, but that's fine. I think you can get it. There's a guy who, this is so cool, by the way. Thatch loves retro Pokemon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's this guy who's making e-reader cards to unlock old events.
Yeah.
In Gen 3 games, and I'm not sure if they've done an old sea map one yet, but they've done they redid the Eon ticket, and they've done a couple other things now. They've written their own events too. Coded their own events with the e-reader. They have an event where you can go catch Celebi or something. It's crazy. You can get one from My Pokemon Ranch.
Oh, true. We should deposit 1,000 Pokemon. No, 999.
You trade the owner of the ranch an egg, you get a Mew. I loved My Pokemon Ranch, actually. I actually really enjoyed that when it came out. Because it gave you a reason just to capture a bunch of stuff, but then you could also trade for rarer stuff with the person that owned the farm.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually really cool and a really fun way to do things. And let me see. I know right now you can get one if you just have save data from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
Mm-hmm. And BDSP.
And BDSP. You can also get one if you buy a new Pokeball Plus.
True.
And you play Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. There's just a Mew in there that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, I guess.
And the absolute hardest way that you can technically do without cheating is the glitch in the Gen 1
Virtual Console.
In the Virtual Console.
Yeah, there's that one. There's a lot. It's so easy to get nowadays, so I'm not as worried about it. But it was back when you first did it, you had to go places or send your game into somewhere to get a Mew. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Mew, like I said, again, very good. TCG wise as well, because I like to do a little TCG bump on this segment too.
Very prevalent for a long time.
It's prevalent now too.
Oh, still, dang.
It like every rotation like has a Mew card in it. I think that is just good. Like Mew, yeah, the Mew V Max deck, very good deck. I think it won Worlds last year. In it like its last year of the format, like it just won. So like very good deck. It's out of rotation now, thank God. But there is a Mew EX from the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 151 set that came out last summer, and that card sees a lot of play. It's very splashable in a lot of decks because let me pull it up. It's I believe it's 3 colorless energy, and you can just use any of your opponent's attacks right back at them. So it's very good in terms of mirror free retreat.
It gets really fun abilities.
And the ability on the Mew EX, if you have less than 3 cards in your hand, you can draw up to 3 cards. So there's a lot of utility with using that Mew. It's a fun card to use. A lot of people like to use it. It's splashable in a lot of different decks. All right. Do you guys have any like fun memories of Mew? I talked so much. I'm so sorry.
Oh gosh, it's all about the movie.
I remember the year of Mythicals.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, I remember the movie was so iconic. Like, the best movie, still, hands down. But, yeah, I remember the year of the Mythicals when Mew came out, and I was excited because I had 4 different 3DS cartridges.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I'm getting 4 Mews!
Same.
And I made them all different natures, and they're all like, okay, this is my this set, this is my that set. I was very into that.
The year of Mythicals was such a cool year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was.
They can never do it again, but it was such a cool year. It was like in everything too. It wasn't just the games. Like there were TCG boxes that came out with it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every month was a different celebration. It was great.
It was really cool. The year of Mythicals was really cool. That was 2016. I remember this very vividly.
Yeah, it was Gen 6 still. It was, peak.
Yeah. Truly a great time in Pokemon.
Gen 6 was a great time.
It really was.
Yeah, what? Okay, wait, I pulled up the year of Mythicals just so I could look again to remind myself of how awesome this was.
The good memories.
So Mew kicked things off. They skipped like Deoxys, I think, which is upsetting, but...
Well, it's not even... It's been largely demythicalized, too.
At the time it was, too, because...
Yeah, because Oras...
Because Oras came out. Yeah, it was like the first mythical Pokemon to be like quote-unquote demythicalized. It
was the first, yeah.
Yeah.
Mew came out first. They started in February.
Yeah, for Pokemon Day.
Plus, Deoxys got its cool little Delta episode, so it's fine.
Celebi was March. Jirachi was April. Darkrai was May. Manaphy was June. Shaman July. Arceus in August.
Has Darkrai been demythicalized? Because it bothers me that Cresselia...
Yeah, it's in PLA. It's in PLA now, right? Same with Manaphy and Shaman and Arceus. Gen 4 is done.
I personally really love, like, the way Mew even came to be. Like, it was a secret even at Nintendo, apparently. Because, like, Shigeki Morimoto says that he created it 2 weeks before the game's development was, like, finished. Because there was, like, a lot of free space on the cartridge after the debugging. And so it was like, well, we can fit in something extra. And everyone was like, okay, you do not touch the code of this game. Because, well, you know what the code of Gen 1 is like. It's held together with, like, spits and popsicle sticks. But he still did it, and I'm grateful that he did. Because it gave Pokemon its magic, really.
Yeah, it's part of it. I mean, Pokemon did a lot of things right, if you think about it. I mean, we talked about it earlier, like the Pikachu mascot thing was very... like there's a lot of pieces that, like, it wasn't just like, oh, Pokemon existed and it did very well.
Where it's just on everything.
Mew was definitely a big thing. They also did what I like to call, like, the Beetle strategy when it came to the West. Yeah, where it's just everything. Well, because, like when the Beatles came to the US, like they released the album, like Meet the Beatles, which had all of the bangers from all of their previous albums from Europe that they had never released in the US. And Pokemon did something very similar where they very strategically laid out the anime with the games, with the trading card game and everything. Blew it out. I mean, the Burger King toys in the US, I was just thinking about that the other day.
Oh my god, yes.
they just like made everything Pokemon very quickly in a very short amount of time. Because like I remember, all I remember is I think back on that time, and I was a kid obviously, so like time seemed longer to me than it does now. And I just remember like looking at the dates for some of these things. I'm like, wow, this all happened in like a 6-month period. And I'm like, that's insane to me. Because like I remember playing this game and then doing this and then doing that and then doing this. And I'm like, wow, it all happened from like the end of 1998 to like the end of 1999. It was like 1 year and so many things happened and that blew my mind and got me sucked into this.
I think it might have been even faster here, because I remember that it wasn't really a famous thing until the anime came out. And then since it was on TV, like it was suddenly everywhere. So it was like an explosion, really. And I think one of the factors that might have helped it is like, by the time it came to the West, they could tell you this is the cool new thing. Because it was. And so everyone wants to get in on the cool new thing.
I love that time too, because Pokemon had like no rules about what they would get involved in either. Like the Pokemon was growing so big that it didn't know how to handle things. That's how we got like Pokemon Pop-Tarts, Pokemon Waffles, Pokemon Jelly.
Pokemon cereal. Oh, I loved it.
Okay, they came out a couple years ago with like a different Pokemon cereal, and I bought it, and I don't know.
We had Pokemon Bubblegum here.
Also, the Pokemon Oreos were pretty recent. Those were great.
Part of me wishes we didn't record this show on like Saturday mornings so that I could like sit down and watch cartoons with a bowl of cereal. Just to like relive that time a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. During Gen 6 for a while, I would get up Saturday mornings and like watch the XY anime, yeah.
I would do that for a while, like back then. I mean, there's no Saturday morning cartoons anymore, which makes it worse, I think.
But you can stream, whatever.
Yeah, but it's not the same. You know what I mean?
It's not. WB will never.
Kids WB did very well. Fox Kids was doing okay. I just remember, like, the thing that they did that I think really, I watched a whole memorial on this, like, a few weeks ago. Because I guess, like, I really just want nostalgic feelings all the time now. I watched a video on Saturday morning cartoons, and it was just like, it's because it became an event for kids. I don't know if it was the same way for you, Whimsicott, being in Italy, but like,
it wasn't for several reasons.
But like, they made it like an event for kids where it's just like, this is something for you to enjoy, not for like your parents or for other people. It was, 5 or so hours on Saturday morning. There were commercials, obviously. The commercials, again, were like very kid oriented. I was sold a lot of Gushers and Fruit by the Foot and toys in those commercials.
In Italy, it was more like, it wasn't a Saturday thing. It was an every afternoon during the week thing, actually.
Oh, we had that too.
Yes, after school you could come and watch. Yes, I loved that.
That was a thing. That was also a thing. We had it in the mornings and in the afternoon, but it was the same block in the morning as it was in the afternoon.
Yes, I would get ready in the morning and it would be up. Oh, it was so good. So good. Brock's Vulpix. Yeah,
it was definitely an interesting time. Because I like in the summers, yeah, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd watch it, like the kids block in the morning. But the Saturday was like typically when it was new episodes. Though they would have the events when like they would need to catch up, especially with like Pokemon and a few other shows that had like 50 some episode seasons. They would make it like a big event. Like, it's going to actually be new episodes during the week this week, so make sure you watch it there.
The thing is, in Italy, and mostly a lot of other places in Europe too, we imported like all of the anime, like all of it, starting from the 70s. So there was never like a scarcity of cartoons, quote unquote, to watch. So what would happen was like, okay, we're going to air like the first season of Pokemon, and we didn't have like trouble catching up because so what happened with Pokemon specifically was that it was localized to the US, and then the US localization was localized to Italy. So it was a two-step process, which took a fair bit of time. Like the Pokemon anime started airing in January of 2000 in Italy. The 10th of January of 2000, I remember. It's when I first saw any Pokemon of any kind. And so they would essentially take a season of an anime and just air it, like one episode every day for 5 days a week until the season was over. So it didn't take a lot of time for you to watch through an entire anime or an entire season of an anime. And then when new episodes were ready, they would just air another block of it over another, few weeks. And that was how it worked. And there was never a lot of need to do reruns because there were just so many to choose from. They would do reruns from time to time, but usually just of the either the more popular stuff or maybe stuff that, they thought would be popular. And so they bought the rights to air it twice or three times. So, but yeah, so it wasn't like a weekly thing. It was like, okay, now you get this block of weeks over which you will see the entirety of the first season of Sailor Moon.
Oh, that was in the US. I don't know if this was in other countries, but there was a law where you had to have something like healthy or like teach something educational in your cartoons. So all of these, like you'd have Sailor Moon telling you to brush your teeth.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was bizarre. It was wild.
No, that was the fun part. Was like the little in-between segments. They would make a big deal out of it. I don't know. I also remember getting like super hyped like when they finally got to like the Indigo Plateau and stuff like that. I don't know. Man, I miss that stuff. But yeah, Mew is a cool Pokemon. Try it out, I guess. I don't know. It's just like it.
Get into Mew. Yeah. Celebrate Mew. Justice for Mew.
All right. Well, that's our Pokemon of the episode segment, whatever this was. And we're going to now kick it on over to our mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to our mailbag. Our mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and we will probably read it on the show. With that said, we're going to get into it. But if you write us a really good email that we really like, you can go ahead and get the Green Taurus badge, because this segment is brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Taurus, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And let's get into it then. Last week not last week, but 2 weeks ago, we asked you guys which Pokemon you thought shouldn't exist in terms of like a form or an added evolution that was added after the Pokemon was added. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm going to get this first one from Fox. Hi, Thatch. Etc.
I'm at your cetera.
You guys are etc. I apologize.
At least we're not at all.
That's true.
Mm.
I'm a podcast fan who's never going back and listen to the old episodes, but in for your fun content and trivia. I meant to write last week with my mega ideas, but I forgot. I may add that here too, but to the question was about worthless evolutions. There were a few, but I wanted to highlight the ugliest. Geodude. Sorry, Geodude. The whole flying rock thing was okay, but Graveler looks stupid with a big body and tiny arms, and the weird mustache on Golem is disturbing like the one on Probopass. These are fine evolutions, and Geodude needed something, okay? I think he's talking about Alolan Geodude specifically.
Yeah, it's like, Golem don't have a mustache on his regular form, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't float anymore either? How is that better? And don't start with the Alolan variety. Hair on Geodude? Why? Geodude could have gone the way of Altaria and gotten stronger arms or wings. It could have been like Minior and been a cool flying rock. It could have even been more crystally like Gigalith too. Boo. Briefly, I want a Mega Obstagoon and a Mega Whimsicott. Mega Obstagoon would sort of lean into the whole I look a bit like Team Skull vibe, but sort of glam rock. It already is glam rock. It's literally just like Kiss.
Yeah.
I'm very confused. With a mohawk or something. I'd give it a move called Lights Out. Well, Megas typically don't get new moves, but I digress. That sharply drops the accuracy of all Pokemon on the field except itself and electric types. Lean into the fact that its zigzags are sort of like lightning. That's the point. You need to go watch Kiss, Fox. You need to go Google Kiss the band. And justice for regular Linoon 2. Mega Whimsicott would be like a samurai cotton ball. It would have an X made of two Q-tips on its back, and its poofy head would become more conical, like a pyramid of cotton balls.
No.
Its round body would be like samurai armor. I think it would have something like fabric shield that would be a gouging fire move, or burning bulwark. Except in this case, whoever attacks it gets leeched. Yeah, I like both those.
No, sorry. You do not have Whimsicott's official seal of approval because well, this is a really cool idea on its own, but I don't like it applied to Whimsicott because it goes against like the main tenets of its design.
Yeah, a little bit.
It has to be fluffy, round and fluffy and soft.
Finally, some light rage as also requested. Overquill sucks, general speaking. I'm not a fan of fish Pokemon, but Overquill is just dumb. It takes the reasonably stylish pufferfish with the monogram on its tail and says, but what if it had really big lips and a worthless small body, smaller than its spines? And it just looks dumb because that's not how pufferfish are, or really anything with quills works.
But it's like a deep sea bomb, more than Quillfish already was.
Yeah, yes, that I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how the Toucanon line just changes what it is every time.
Your podcast fan and long-term stand for Spiritube, the happiest evil desktop fan ever made, Fox Peterson.
Nice.
Well, thank you, Fox. All right, your next email.
Yeah, sorry that we disagreed with you so much. It was still, like, those ideas were really cool. I personally don't like what you did to Whimsicott. It was cool, though.
Our next email this week is going to be from Gigasaurus Games.
Yeah, I've got it. Hello, Puckle Crew. Let the Quillfish Coalition rise. The idea of a Quillfish Coalition from last week's episode made me laugh enough to write in an email defending the poor pufferfish. I like Quillfish. It's always struck me as a funny-looking Pokemon that reminds me of a child trying to pretend it's grown up enough to play with the big children on the playground, but it's just a little too weak to really manage to do so.
Quillfish is actually it was really good in Draft League. I liked it in Draft League.
It had Intimidate, you know.
Intimidate, and it gets Swift Swim, actually. And its base attack actually isn't that low.
No, it's not that bad.
Let me see if I can find it. It's actually pretty good.
You can make it work.
For this reason, I like Overquill, because the line finally gets to at least look threatening, even if it still isn't very good. It also makes me think of a frag grenade, which I think is hilarious for a Pokemon. Yeah, there are so many, like, Pokemon that are just weapons, which, as for Hisuian Quillfish, I wouldn't usually defend it, since I would probably have preferred that Overquill evolved from normal Quillfish. But since it is part of the coalition, it gets a pass. Barely. I guess it is at least nice that Hisuian Quillfish gives Overquill permission to be a Swift Swim user that isn't water or Beartic, which I think is an interesting niche. When I wrote that line, I forgot about Armaldo, but I think the point stands. Yeah. As for add-ons that I dislike, I want to crush Hisuian Avalugg more. Yes. Not only is it boring and bad, exactly, Hisuian Avalugg is almost worse than normal Avalugg because it actually gains speed, which makes it worse under Trick Room, making it a completely wasted use of base points. Moreover, those points apparently come from its already abysmal special defense, making it even more vulnerable to its worst weaknesses. I will also add Galarian Yamask to the conversation entirely because of its evolution method. Taking at least 49 damage and passing under a specific arch? It's absolutely ridiculous. I agree. Thank you all for putting together such an entertaining episode every week, and I hope you all have a great day. Gigasaurus Games. Thank you. I hope you have a great day too.
All right. Our last email is going to come to us from Nico. I believe Sublime, you've got this one.
Yep. All right. Hey, Puckle Gang. Nico here, and I hope you're all going great. Since there were technical difficulties last week, I figure I can take the opportunity to talk about the ancestors we could see in Pokemon Legends Plaza. I'm not going to talk about characters.
Is it Z to A or Za? No, they haven't actually confirmed the pronunciation of the game.
I would just say ZA without saying anything for the hyphen.
ZA is probably correct, but I like the idea of Pokemon Legends Za.
Plaza, yeah.
Plaza.
It's like how I call Scarlet and Violet Scurvy.
I think we'll still call Pokemon Legends ZA, Z to A, or whatever it is, Plaza. I think, like, in the community, it's Plaza.
Yeah, it's like Oros.
Yeah, it's Plaza.
Yeah, I wanted Sun and Moon to be S&M, but
they didn't do it.
Pick up.
They weren't brave enough.
They did Sumo instead.
They weren't brave.
They're not cool like that. It's fine. I'm not going to talk about characters already in XY. I'm sure we can expect to see all the major players returning. It would be fun to see Foreman Diantha in a hard hat and steel toes. We aren't talking about that now. We're talking about my ancestor wish list. First, let's get this out of the way. Larry. I have a lot to say about my other choices, but Larry rules. They could do so much with him. Maybe he's a failed artist with a dream and his wife and kids resent him for their poverty. Moving on, who's next? Oh yeah, it's your boy, Guzma, leader of Team Skull. But maybe this time he could be an Oliver Twist type street urchin. He could even run a small gang of pickpocketing kids. Plumeria would be in the crew too, of course. Perhaps their genders could be swapped. Finally, I saved the best for last. That's right, it's Clara, the rival from Isle of Armor and the biggest brat in Pokemon. I absolutely love this obnoxious, impudent, and mean child, and I think she would fit a perfect role as a prima donna. Make her a spoiled star of the stage. It could be burlesque, ballet, or opera. Who cares? She just has to be a diva. Also, remember the white Dustox bow in her hair? Everyone thought that there would be a regional Dustox. Well, it's time to give her the Dustox she deserves. It could easily be based on the peppered moth.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The peppered moth was once white, then evolved into a black color during the Industrial Revolution to adapt to air pollution.
That's so cool.
You know what? That's the one.
I'm into it.
Alright, now it's your turn. What favorite characters would you want to see in old Lumio City, and what kind of role should they fill, and why is it Jasmine? Take it easy, Puckle Pals. Nico. P.S. I already have a Green Tauros badge.
Thank you, that helps a lot.
I think Jasmine is overhyped as a Gen 2 character.
Yeah.
I don't get why is everyone so obsessed with Jasmine? Like, is it just because she has a big Steelix and she's kind? I don't know.
I would be cool with, like, Morty having an ancestor, or...
I was just thinking Morty, yeah.
Like, I think Morty is probably the most interesting.
Oh, wait. Who is the, ghost?
Fantina. Fantina is specifically French.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Fantina.
Yeah.
That's
She's
the one.
French.
That would be good, actually, yeah. Is she French? I thought...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's French, yes.
Okay.
She's grand.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Who's that, the water gym leaders from both versions even? Could be from Hoenn. What are they? It's been a minute.
Oh, yeah. Juan is the one in Emerald.
Juan,
yeah.
well, he's more, not Juan, but...
Wallace.
Wallace! Give me a Wallace!
I was going to say Wallace too, because he's so stylish.
Mm-hmm.
I think a version of him would fit nicely in France. And that would have been my pick. But I would also say it would be very, very funny if Larry was like the opposite of who Larry is. Like if he was a really important person.
Full of personality, yeah.
Yeah. That would be really, really funny. Who else would I like to see? You know who looked like they were from some kind of old world noble family? Was her name like Catherine? Caitlin from the Gen 5 Elite Four?
Yeah, Gen 5 Elite Four and the Gen 4 Battle Frontier.
Battle Frontier, exactly. So either her or her butler figure whose name escapes me. It would be cool to see them, some version of them in France. That would be funny.
Durach actually has that ancestor, I believe, already. If I'm not mistaken. Let me look it up. I think he did in Legends Arceus.
Oh, cool.
It's just based on his hair color. Yeah, I have to remember though.
Yeah, but his hair color all looks like whatever.
I forget. I thought he did. I could be mistaken though. But yeah. But yeah, thank you for those emails, guys. I really appreciate them all. I think Gigasaurus gets it, if he doesn't already. But yeah. Okay, if you guys want to email us next week, you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, letting us know what your top 5 and bottom 5 mythical list is. We would love to hear it. puclpodcast@gmail.com. Of course, you can always email about whatever you want, kind of like Nico just did. I would love to hear it. You can go to keep up with us throughout the week at pucklediscord.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Additionally, you can see us over at Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast, over at YouTube at youtube.com/pucklepodcast. And if you want us to help support the show, you can go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast, where I'm going to start sending out the playmats here. There was a slight issue with the printing, so I was trying to make sure that got sorted out. But those playmats should be coming to you, patrons, in no time. Additionally, you can also help us out if you like cardboard like I do. You can go to trollandtoad.com and use code PucklePod5 at checkout to get yourself a 5% discount over at Troll and Toad. But with that, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I have been the Fluffiest Whimsicott.
And I remain sublime.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
It's closing time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbyes. It's closing time. Farewell, my friends. I'll catch you on the flip side.